Hey guys, I'm back again. Still cold in Wisconsin. It's a little bit warmer out, but that doesn't mean too much in Wisconsin. It's still cold out here. On one of our previous videos, I talked about how when the car's running, and you may have heard it, a squeaking sound that most likely is either the serpentine belt, one of the idler pulleys, or maybe even a tensioner pulley. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually either grease the existing idler pulleys, and here's one of them now. This is a new one, and so so there's two of them of the idler pulleys, and I'm going to take them off, see if I'm able to grease them or not. I may be able to. I should be able to. And if needed, replace one of them. Hopefully I don't need to replace two, but I doubt both of them are bad. But it would be nice, but I only bought one. It's a good chance, though, that it's really just the serpentine belt. So I'm going to be changing the serpentine belt anyway, because it's probably about due to change it anyway. So see if that's going to resolve it. And I'll let you guys hear that squeak now. Hopefully it makes some noise. I can turn this fan off to remove any extra noise. And start it up. Hopefully you can hear that squeaking. All right, so you guys should have been able to hear that squeaking noise. It's hard to sometimes pick up different sounds on a recording. So I'm going to pause you guys for now and get back to it when it's time to start. All right. All right. So I've gone ahead and removed the cold air intake. I figured I didn't need you guys to sit around and watch me do that. If you don't know how to do that by now, remove your air box, then maybe you shouldn't be moving forward from this point. Sorry for the noise in the background. It's a cold Wisconsin winter, so I can have my heat going on. I got the electric heater and my propane heater going. Let's see here. So we have to remove the alternator in order to get back to the serpentine belt and to the pulleys. The idler pulley is one on this side and one on this side. And so there's some long bolts up here that we have to remove out of here. Get this out of the way, then we can remove the tension on the serpentine belt, remove that, and then we can get to the idler pulleys. That's our next step. All right. To begin this whole project, we're definitely going to need what do we got here? Can we get some? I can't seem to, there we go, close enough. 16. We're going to need a 16. And it doesn't have to be a deep socket. None of them have to be a deep socket. A 15, a 16, a 15, and a, what is this? 13. And, of course, what is always needed is your little 10 millimeter. You're going to need those three right there because there are three different sizes on this right here to remove this alternator, and they're different lengths. So you want to remember which ones you took out of it, which location. So you want to place them in a way that you know exactly where they go when you take them out. And we also want to make sure to disconnect our battery before we start, because we are messing with the alternator, which you have your direct connection over there, almost direct connection over to the battery. Let's see here. So it's pretty easy. Just gotta get in there and do it. So that's our next step. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna deal with this big one right here first. Get that one out of there. And then we'll work on all the other ones. I believe that's the 16. I believe those are the 13s, that one down there. And then over here on the side, let's see here, there and there, you have a 13 and a whatever size, and the same over here on this side too. So we just have to get those out of there, and then of course disconnect what's up top over here. So first, and just to let you know, I went through just to make sure that it wasn't too hard to get these off, and pre-broke the not on the battery of course, but pre-broke the connection. There we go. Disconnect the negative side, and then come in here to the battery. You got this up over here, and what size is that one? That's way too big. And I just dropped the bolt in there someplace. Hopefully it's not the size that I need. I'm doing this while holding my, it's going to be the size that I dropped, isn't it? Nope, there we go. So it is the up top here. I think this is the 13, right? Yep. So, and remember, I already loosened some of these up, so it's not like it was really that loose. So 13 millimeter up here to get this bolt out. We'll take that. I'll set that off over onto the battery so I don't lose it. And then over here, I probably just need to, I'm assuming, lift this up. And then for this one right here, I had to just pop it up. Took a little bit of effort because it's probably been down since the car was new. So popped it up, and now this allows for me to push this part in. And once that's pushed in, it comes right on up and off. So with both of these out of the way, I'm gonna use this hose right here to keep them out of the way. All right, so I'll fish it right behind there, and that'll hold it up out of my way while we work on this. And next I'm gonna take my 16 millimeter, and remember I already loosened up some of these bolts. So I'm gonna take my 16, and we are going to work on this one here. And I think I may have loosened it up enough where I may be able to just turn it by my hand. This is the biggest bolt, the middle bolt. And remember, they're all different sizes, so you want to always remember exactly which bolts you took off. So just turning by hand. The power tool definitely would be much easier right about now. I have air tools, but I just can't get it to work with my compressor for some odd reason. And this whole little thing, what I'm doing now will be the same for in case you needed to replace your alternator. So it's one of those dual purpose ones. See how long that bolt is? That's a long bolt. That's very long. I'll put it next to the radiator so you can have a field of reference next to the radiator cap. It's a pretty long bolt. So that's the big one. So I'll bring this one down and set it in the middle, because it's going to be kind of like the middle bolt. And then I'll start working on the others. I think now I'll deal with this one up here, and now to figure out which size that one is. Looks like the 15 should work for that. So I'll get out my 15. Get it up in there. I have some thumb ratchets too. I should get those out. Now to make some of this a little quicker. And actually, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking I better stop right now because I'm being stupid. I better release the tension on my belt first. I gotta take that serpentine belt off of there first. Right now, the alternator is under pressure. I'm sure some of you guys may have peeped that already. And so I'm going to need to put my ratchet in here, right there, and go clockwise. Would that be right, what I just said? Go counterclockwise to end up getting the, to go clockwise in order to get the pressure off of there. So let me get my ratchet and see what we can do here and see if that helps out. Here we go. Now we're in there. Now I need to get a hold of my pole. They used to have a breaker bar, but I broke the breaker bar. I broke my breaker bar. That's what happened when you get your tools from Harbor Freight. For a moment. Let's see if I can put this hood up higher and out of the way. Put it there. That should hold. Clockwise. Bring it back this way. All right. Then go. I heard these were hard to do, so I think I'm finding out that there's some truth to that. I got enough off, and I'm just trying to get it up and over. Yep, there we go. All right, not bad. Just finding that a sweet spot. All right, got it, people. So the best bet is to have an extension about yay long. That was perfect because there's one of your coolant tubes, not rubber hose, but one of the aluminum tubes that run right almost in front of where you need to be at. So you have to have that extension to get past that. And once you are and you turn it clockwise, you should be okay. All right. Now we can get back to what we were doing. And I want to finish removing some of these bolts. And I'll get on over here and get the other two from the other side. I want to loosen up the others. I think I lost some of my yep, I lost some of my ratchets. And if you guys don't know, this is a thumb ratchet here, and you just put it on, and then you can adjust forward or reverse, and use that to quickly get some of these things off. Alright, I think I can pull you guys back in here. It really needs a thumb for this one. Listen, it's already very loose, but it helps me to not drop the ratchet, the socket that is. This one is the one on the very bottom. Another very long one. That's the very bottom one. So I'm going to put that right below my center one. All right. And come back over and so this is an upper one, but it's the bottom of the upper ones on the right-hand side. And it's a shorty. Look at that. Look at that little short one in comparison. So I'll bring that over, put it on the left-hand side, and it will be on the bottom of the two. I'll get the same one from the other side off from over here, the bottom one. What I can see is a good thing that I pre-loosen them up instead of taking some out, because some was real still tight, because how it starts to move back and the whole bracket back and forth. When I'm seeing this bracket moving. You see how this bracket is moving, but not the alternator? It's part of the alternator, but from what I'm starting to see is that the two bottom ones, I don't think I really need to remove those. So I'm gonna start removing that one that I was doing, this one down here. And I'm just gonna remove this top one and then this top one. So it seems like the ones that are right below there, the one I just removed from under here, and the one on this side right down here, really just holds this bracket to the alternator. That's my sense of it all. So I'm going to see if that's true. And let's see here. Is this the right size for this? Yep. Let me get. And these are the very top bolts that I'm removing now. And those are the 15 millimeters. not really hard to get out. It's just all I'm doing in one hand. I can't lift the weight up off the bolt, so the threads are still under a bit of tension. Even though if I was to lift this up a bit, it would be a bit easier to get those out of there. Now when you're doing this in your place without the camera in one hand, you're doing it with two hands, it won't take you nowhere near as long as it's taking me. All right, so this is the top bolt for this side. As you can see, that's another super duper long one. See, it has a washer on there too. So I'll set that over here, because this is the top one. And remember, this is the one I don't even think I really needed to even take out. And now I'm gonna do the top one over here. So slightly bigger size. I think I was using this one. Same size, 15. I was just grabbed the wrong one. All right, I don't want to drop my alternator, which is where this is heading, unless I put this up here. And you guys let me go ahead and, so I think removing this is typically probably a 10-minute job at best, but trying to do the video is made it a bit longer than it needs to be. There we go. Now it's pre-turning. Alright. Now it's loose and it's off. There's the bolt. And that's not to drop the alternator. Here is the alternator. Alright. See that? And the bracket, as you can see, I could have just left that one bolt in there. So I'll tighten that other one back up in there before I start to put it back together. Bring you guys in to see what we have. All right, so this is where we are at right here. So I'm replacing that serpentine belt, and of the two idler pulleys, one here and one here, I'm gonna definitely be replacing one and trying to see if I can just grease the other one. So, and that size there, what do we think that is? That must not be an 11 maybe, 12 at best. Yeah, definitely not a 13. I think it's a 12, but I think a 13 may work. Not with my thumb though. Not with my thumb ratchet. So I'm gonna take both out. Not much to turn them. Turn very easy. And I do have some Loctite, some blue Loctite, when it's time to put them back in. Alright. I think I can bring you guys over for this part. There they go. And this one you guys probably got a good view of. So it didn't take much of any effort to break that free. So I have to remember that when I'm putting it in there, that don't try to pound down on it when I'm tightening it back up in there. There we go. That's one out. And now I'll work on the next one. There's the other side. That down. Trying to keep everything on their respective sides. That one's not quite coming out yet. But where's the replacement at? Did you run that too as well? I guess I did. Alright. So I'm going to try to see if I can grease these up. So let me get that prepared and then we'll walk through that. A couple of things to note. The one from the passenger side and the bolt from the driver's side are significantly different. So make sure you remember that. As you can see, there's two different lengths. So I'm keeping them on their respective sides. This one came off of the passenger side, and this one came off of the driver's side. And the one on the driver's side, I already knocked some off, so you can't see how much it was on there, but pretty significant amount of probably just dust and maybe material wear from their previous belt and things. So I'm gonna clean this up and see if I can get this off to grease them up. Some just pop out. I can't say that's going to happen with this, but we're going to give it a try. So I'll do that after I clean it up so I don't get dirt in there. So I had wanted to see if I can take the seal off, because I know this is possible, off and re-grease out the inside and put the seal back on. A lot of times it's just almost as a rubber boot, you can pop it off. But this one was, I'm not sure if it was more soft and supple in this past, but I don't think so. You can see there's that metal ring underneath. This is a pretty rigid one, and so it doesn't really flex or anything. So any bends to it is kind of permanent. So it would never be the ability to really truly get that back on, unfortunately. And you can see up inside there, it would have definitely benefited for some grease. I don't think these are bad. I think if I was able to take them off and re-grease them, these things would go for a long time again. But without the ability to get in there and grease those up, you know, I think it's better just to go ahead and change it. I couldn't use this one again anyway after breaking the seal, because whatever minimal amount was still left up in there is now of lubricant that may have been up in there will definitely dry out real quick now, plus with contaminants being able to get up in there. So sad though, you know. I think it would have had a long time. It didn't make noise. You can see it spun pretty freely. But so for that side, I'm going to put the new one on. This is the new one here. So, you know. And then for the other side, I just went on and cleaned it all up around there on both sides. And I'll put it back together. So that's the plan now. I'm going to go ahead and change out the serpentine belt from down there, and then I'll start putting her back together. I don't want you guys just to see me leaned over this while I try to get this serpentine belt in. I'll do that without you guys, all right? All right, just so you guys, that's my crude drawing of the serpentine belt diagram, with this being the alternator up top, these being the two idler pulleys that I'm replacing. So that's the diagram that I have there. Over here, I just want to note, you see the tensioner pulley right here? So the tensioner pulley actually has to come out in order to get the serpentine belt off. So there's one bolt on there. I don't know if I can see it. You see, there it is. That's it right there. That one bolt should allow for me to remove the whole idler pulley. I'm sorry, the tensioner pulley. And so that's what I'm going to do now. That may be a 10, or nope, I would say that's a bit bigger than a 10. Looks more like it should be a 12. Let's see, what do I have over here? That's a 15. This is a 13 here. And 13 seems like that may work. So let's get that off of there. One of those hard things to do. Sorry guys. Alright, got it off. And now I'll get this little puppy over here. Put it on. And we'll get it out of there. Again, not a difficult thing to do. It's just difficult when you are doing it with one hand. And there's debris on there, so I think that helps. There we go. That should be easy now. I broke it free, so the rest of it should be pretty straightforward. All right, down there now. It's loose at least. I think my thumb ratchet will help out again. We got here. another super duper long screw bolt. Now I'll keep that because this is going to be going on real soon, so I'm just going to set that one right there. And looking at how that is, how the belt kind of routes underneath that bracket, that's what makes it, prevents it from coming off. So all right, so I can't do this with one hand. Sorry guys, I'm gonna do this without you. Serpentine belt is out, and I've routed it most of the way for the new one. For the tensioner, all I had to do was take out that one long bolt. I didn't have to remove it completely because that allowed for that part to swing out enough to get the bolt out, to get the belt out from where the bolt would have been at. Okay, so remember, you don't have to take it all the way off. Just take that one long bolt out at the top. It'll swing out enough to be able to get that belt off. All right. So I've put the driver's side one back on, the idler pulley, and I'm going to put the passenger side one on. And here's the bolt. And like I did with the other one, I just took a bit of blue Loctite, put it on the threads. Again, very difficult to do when you're dealing with just one hand. Otherwise, it's quite actually simple job. And quite simple. You're just taking it, and it's just going to get, of course, not the best angle for you guys to see anything, but it's just getting put off up in there, and I'm tightening it down. Remember the short bolt on the driver's side, on the passenger side, and the long bolt goes on the driver's side. Those little details, sometimes you move them really quick to get something done. You don't pay attention to those things until you realize that when you're putting it back together. Right. Now add a little down. Remember, I don't have to do it too much because it didn't take too much to come off. Plus, I got some Loctite on there too as well. Just to be just a little bit more, but not too much. All right. It's turning. That turns freely. And so these right here now, the belt here, well, the smooth side, remember the smooth side always will go to the back of that will always go to the smooth pulleys, and the rib ones will always go to the on the side of the pulleys with the grooves on it. So something to help you guys remember. And so I'm just getting this now all set up so I can put the alternator back up in here. It slips off from the AC compressor. And I think the power steering pump down there will be the last one I will put on, so I'll keep it off from over there. Seatbelt. I may have to let you guys go again because, again, a new serpentine belt isn't the most cooperative for going around things and staying in certain positions. most part is there. So if I kept it around there, I think that is kind of how it will end up being, like that. So now it's time to bring the alternator over and get that in. All right, so as you can see, I have it all roped around, all routed around, and I'm using this bungee cord right here to actually hold up where it will go around the pulley on the alternator. That way when I release the tension on the tensioner, then at that point I should be able to loop this right over onto the pulley of the alternator. You see I put the bracket back all the way back on like I told you, so that big bracket doesn't have to come off. So let's see here, turn it this way. So this is the way you kind of see it. So those two bolts right there don't have to come out. Only the two above it needs to come out, okay? And most people are used to the alternator being orientated that way towards you, but in here, it's pointing in the other direction, all right? That makes everything a little bit more difficult. All right, so I think we'll start off by putting in the big bolt, the big center bolt that we had taken out to help hold it up for us. The big bolt here that will go in this hole down here of the hole. So we'll try doing that one first. Not saying that's the smart decision, and actually it may not be the smart decision. I'm going with those two top bolts. So I'm going to put that one back down, and we're going to do the two top bolts, and I'll bring that in. I'll slide one in here first a bit, and we'll bring it down in there. Hello.
How you doing?
Doing all right? How you doing?
Good.
All right, little man.
Hey, dudes.
All right, close the door. You don't want all the hot air out.
Okay, dude.
All right. I'll start tightening that up in there, and I'll put another one in to begin that. They're going in, they're threading in, which is great. That's where I want it. And then that makes, I can get the other two, which would be my really big center upper bolt and the thinner lower bolt, and put it in. Put both in. I'm just going to get them started. And start the lower one. Yeah, it seems like it's a big job, but it's actually relatively pretty straightforward, easy job. It's a much easier job than on some cars, that's for sure. So now I'll start tightening some of these down a bit, and I'll use my thumb ratchet. Let's see here. Start down at the bottom. Alright, got that one tight enough for now. This is, what is this, the 16? I think I'm at the 15 at this point. Yep. Power will definitely make this a lot quicker of a job. Right, ratchet out. Make sure before I get too far along that getting that serpentine belt through there won't be an issue. I don't think it will be. Right, big bolt down in the center down there. Whew. Not bad, not bad. Now to tighten up the others and put that belt on. gotta get that one all the way at the bottom. Get that one nice and tight. Put a little extension on there because the alternator is slightly in the way of me being able to really put some pressure down on there. Alright, this is better. I'm gonna bust up my knuckles either. I think I got them. Now these are the two bolts that I didn't think that I really didn't need to remove. And I just want to put some pressure back on there. Tighten them back up, that is. Alright. And now I want to go in and do the belt. Just trying to see it. There we go. Go in and do the belt. See how that works out. If you guys remember, it's not the easiest job to do, but I think we will be victorious. And I kind of rigged it up a bit to make it work. What we're going to need to do is, let's see here, we're going to need to go a bit clockwise to release, to move it out, and then if everything goes right, we slip our belt on. Putting my bar on, flip the switch so that we're going in the right direction. There we go. Now flip. Myself positioned. more. It's a new belt, so it's a little tighter than the other one. Let's try that again. So I'm going to attempt to, there's one other place that may, I don't know, I'll see if it can work to my benefit. I don't know, I'll see. Put this on there like that. Will it work? So, let me see if I can show you what I'm going to try to do. So, zoom it out a bit here. So you see this one here? Oh, where did it go? Right here. That pulley. It's smooth and it doesn't have a lip. See, like these right here, up here, have that lip, and I couldn't get over that lip right there. That was the only thing that was preventing me. So I'm gonna use that one as my last point of trying to get it on. That way maybe I can just slide it on there rather than trying to get over that lip. So that's what I'm gonna do next. So I have it all routed, and I'm gonna see if I can do it, all right? Pray for me, people. I don't have much energy left for this, so it is what it is. Harbor Freight tools are holding up on this, so I gotta give them a big shout out for that, given that it's not a breaker bar. It's like once you get past a certain point, it goes further, and it may not seem like that's going to happen at first, but it will. It's definitely harder to try to do it in this one because my right hand is my strong hand, and I need to be able to hold it. And I don't know, let me try from the other side. Maybe if I pull it from over here, maybe that may work. All right. Pull it this way. This hand. It broke. out. Did good. That was the all right, let's give this a try again. All right. Oops. I think that may be working. That may have worked. That may have been the much easier route to go. All right, so you live and you learn. So what we do know that is definitely the far easier route to go. And of course, if you have help, another set of hands, it will be even that much easier. Now I'm just adjusting any place where it's not completely seated right. But yeah, that was a ton easier. I wish I would have went that way from the beginning, but now I know. All right, it's all on there in all the right places. So now I'll put it back together and then we'll see how it's. All right, guys, so now it's time to actually hear a run. So what we've done, we've changed the one of the idler pulleys. We've changed the serpentine belt. We had to remove the alternator. We had to remove, loosen and partially remove the the tensioner pulley, and let's see how she sounds now. See if that squeak is going. Nice and quiet. That's the way I like it. Not a squeak to be heard. Purr like a kitten. Another episode, so you guys can see what it takes to replace the alternator belt, replace the pulley, replace an alternator, whatever it takes.